The best of his experience was just sitting down in Lagos and running Lagos. Lagos is not Nigeria. You can't compare that to somebody who has been president, vice president of the country, sitting with Obasanjo, running the country together with him, learning the ropes there and understanding that even from the forming of government, you balance things. Because a leader has to carry a certain level of patriotism. And that patriotism is the scale that tells him this type of behavior will not go here, this will not go here, this will not be accepted here. I was on your program, Segun, when I was screaming, Mr. President, you are making more money and giving more money to the state. You have not told them what to do with it. And you are watching these guys do that. And what has happened? It has impacted the dollar.
Is this his fault to have made more money available
to the state? It is his fault to the extent that he pretends as if he does not know the country he's leading. This is an environment where officers are generally very corrupt.
We need to
he shouldn't have taken one whole year. Did you not understand the country you are coming to lead? Do you not know what it will require for the person to have boots on ground? If you had made that your Israel the minister of Israel, perhaps they would have had more boots on ground with young people. You can't just be running anyhow and expecting us to be clapping for you. You are a mess. Because in the Obasanjo Atiku regime, we embarked on phased removal of subsidy. First point. Second point, we engaged the civil society, the organized labor, the private sector, the manufacturer for a roadmap on how to do it. When they say this must happen first, we make that happen, then we move to the next step. Then we make that happen, then we move to the next step. Nobody takes government and in a lackadaisical attitude, in an unfeeling and unempathetic manner, pretend as if he's talking only to his overfed friends. Nigeria is made up of maybe 220 or more, and the vast majority of us are poor. And do not be deceived that because you can afford 3 square meals, that means that everybody in the whole of this country can afford it. And if they cannot afford it, the question then gets to be asked, what then is the responsibility of government other than to make sure that the people in the country can survive? Listen, my friend, and nobody should try to pussyfoot our face or give us the impression that everybody in this country is mainly stupid. You cannot run a big nation like ours in a manner that suggests that you have not really thought through your policies, you have not impacted it on how it's going to impact the people, and you have not come up with creative ways to solve the problem. I'll give you another one. If you remove subsidy on the first day, why must it take you 1 year and 2 months before you can increase the salary of civil servant? Did the price not start impacting from the next day? When you were throwing money all over the place, saying you are doing palliative, giving money to your friends who are governors misbehaving all over the country, what did you think was going to happen? Okay, now we're here. And I want to say to Nigerians, with every sense of responsibility, because we have ruled this country, we've led this country before, and we plan to lead it in the future.
Therefore, we will not. You run this country aground.
Are you for real? Do you not have statistics?
That's what the APC will say.
Forget what the APC is saying. They can tell themselves all sorts of lies.
Would you say that the PDP gave Nigeria a good country?
At the worst of our performance, Jonathan, yes, we were still doing 5-point-something growth %. Do you know what the size of the Nigerian economy was in 2015? Was the largest growing economy in Africa. Where are we today? I'm not here for that. Segun, we have found ourselves in a situation. They don't even know how to get themselves out of it, and so we have to help them now. And I'll say to the Nigerian people, once we choose democracy, the demagogy of language of dictatorship has to change. When we were running military dictatorship and all of that, the demagogy of strike, put people on the street, we're not going to agree. That was the language of then. In a civilian democracy, the demagogy must be consultation, conversation, and short intervention. Democracy is, as it were, civilian monarchy. But the beauty of that civilian monarchy is that it is termed. And therefore, we know that after every 4 years, we can have a referendum on their performance. And if they have not done well, we can vote them out. But if we insist that we're going to do some copycat syndrome that's going to make our country become ugly because of their inability to manage things.
As they hot, you see how that man was filming and blasting Tinubu's government, because I think I love the way he was trying to say is that don't Tinubu know that what he's entering is a country like Nigeria, and he's not aware that he's going to face this thing? Then why is the excuses that they're giving that he's the former president that left them with this hardship? Whereas you know that this is what they're going to face. That means you didn't come with a proper plan on how to fix our country. You did not come with a proper plan on how to restructure the country. You just came and said that it's your turn. Is it Emilio Con? That is your turn, without any proper plan on how you can fix this country. And that was that view before the protest that they had. And then again, they have come again in Arise News to also continue the blasting of Wike's appointment of appointing Boala, because Boala was a member of PDP before, and then he was a former member of PDP. That means he was a loyalist to Atiku. And then why did he not turn to APC? And then Tinubu now went ahead to appoint him. Then he was not asking, why is the shuffling of all these communications aid happening in our country? Is it that they don't have any proper hand to handle this? But I'd like guys to hear what you have to say again in a right news, and I'll be together shortly.
I am disgusted. First of all,
that's a very strong word.
Yes, I know. It is. I'm disgusted in the sense that there are mistakes you expect a novice who doesn't understand these things to make. You don't expect that from someone who has been governor in Lagos. I know, because when they were in the second term, I was a special advisor to the governor of Ogun State, Otumagben Daniel Media, and I used to cross swords with Dele Alake in those days. And I know how tight their media outfit is. I know a lot of strong people and strong voices that have managed the complexity of his media, even in the midst of crisis when he was having both his academic issues with Ganifa and me, the ones he had with Obasanjo and all that. Why will he become president of Nigeria and begin to say that putting together a media team is such a cacophony of strange fellows? And I'll tell you why. Right. Number one, on whose table does the buck stops? Who clears it, like my brother mentioned? Yeah. The other question is that if, for instance, there's a breaking news in Nigeria and CNN wanted to talk to someone, who do they call? You ask yourself, the United Nations is a very big, humongous bureaucracy. Yeah. Do they have a cacophony of 1 million people calling themselves spokesperson? The presidency of the United States of America is also a very big government where they are just, the new president to say they want to cut it down with do you think they have so many spokespersons? It is symptomatic of how it is now clear to me that it is easy, or it could be easy, to win an election, but it's a completely different kettle of fish to form a government. You have to take a step backward and look at what they have even done with their ministers. And then you come further and say, if you've just changed ministers because you are trying to, reject the cabinet, is that the reason why you have confusion in something that is a very simple, easy to understand procedure? I think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is running into this trouble because he likes to micromanage by himself. With due respect to the chief of staff, they couldn't have given the responsibility to the chief of staff and there will be confusion because he would have designated it well. They couldn't have given the responsibility to secretary of the government of the federation and there will be this confusion. He would have designated it well. Yeah. But when you bring your yo-yo dandy, happy-go-lucky friends who actually did not contribute anything to your election, make the people who worked so hard, practically tore ourselves and gouged our eyes out on different sides, begin to look at you as someone who doesn't even understand on whose backs you even won. If you had lost this election, would the person who have been saying you cannot get anything done in 30 years, would those type of people be able to be now having such a big presence of space? With due respect to the president, if you cannot put together a simple thing like a communication team, which of them will be in cabinet to understand the directive principles of your government? All three? Okay, if you are going abroad and you have to go some of these trips, which of them goes with you as a rule? The Prime Minister of India was here a couple of days ago. While he was in Nigeria, you can see what his comm teams were doing. They were already generating the traction of the stories and all that. It was already going haywire. What were our own what were they doing? Busy taking picture. One person was running ahead, breaking protocols to jump in front of them. We're just disgracing ourselves. If you see I'm a little bit agitated, you know why? I'm agitated because you see, when your brother fails, you fail. You are failed. Right. Today now, the kind of bragging right people like us used to have when people like General Buhari or any other person was on the table as Yoruba men is all but gone. Because on the same, look at what was Buhari's media like. He had Femi Additional head. He had Garba Shehu, special assistant, was the next, and there were a lot of speaking head. He had a Buhari media team that people like Akishinju were running. These guys are just not getting it right. And because they think that they are dandy, they think that they are some kind of fantastic outliers, and the output does not even reflect that. I don't want him to fail. You know the worst part of this whole nonsense is the fact that everybody is going to be doing influence peddling. Oh, I'm the one that took a picture of the president. If I'm the one that people should run to, they'll start running around the ministers and stuff, just causing chaos. He needs to come back from Brazil and come and fix this mess. Okay. You know why? Because the reputation of the president of any nation is the alter ego of the country, and you can't create this mess and tell us to now say that okay, yeah, Nigerians were like we are who?
I don't think Tinubu government will like this because this man came out to blast Tinubu government. Like he gave them to from that for that first video you watched where he was trying to blast. By the way, his name is Segun Sowunmi. He's actually a PDP member, and he came out to blast APC and their current government and policies because it's not helping our country. Our country is in a mess, and then it's getting worse day by day. There's no single improvement since APC came to office. I believe that APC coming to office is to make maybe Nigeria better, but they coming into office is making it much worse and worse day by day. No single thing. Fuel price have increased. Dollar to the naira have increased, price of rice have increased, everything in Nigeria have increased to the peak, and the government are not even helping matters. Everything is getting more worse and worse day by day, and then they keep telling us to give them time. We should believe that they are planning to make us a better country, because that's the only thing we're hearing. That we should give them more time. We should believe in their government, that they will give us more aid and more things to come that is good for us in Nigeria. But I think I'd like guys to everybody watched in the comment section. I'll be taking a shortly my next video. Stay tuned, guys.